As we look forward to 2025, remember how good God has been to you. We have had a very bloody year in 2024 for Trinidad and Tobago. Right now, we are in a state of emergency. But regardless of what is happening out there, God has protected us. God has sustained us. And we are here to say, God, we are with you for now and forevermore.
Approximately 623 homicides for the year. However, the focus of homicides and this murder rate is not the main reason why the decision was taken to call this.
What happened last night should have never taken place. When I look at these guys that are on the screen right now, I see incompetence. I see people who have failed the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. And I think they should resign. They should not wait until the election. Who calls a state of emergency to be rid of gangs? Yet there's no curfew. If there was a curfew in place last night, do you think that would have happened? A man leaving church, just preaching, wife and children, gunned down in front of his family and succumbed to his injuries. Are the same gangs that Stuart says are using AR rifles. If he knew that after preaching last night, that would be the end of his life on this side of eternity, maybe he would have done differently. Maybe he would not have been there. I don't know. But he said he is with God now and forever. These politicians never cease to amaze me, and I believe if the public of Trinidad and Tobago were the police, the judges, the magistrates, maybe they would have just locked all of them up. They should really take blame and responsibility for what happened to the lawyer last evening. But then again, do you think Young cares about that? No. Because he says the reason for the state of emergency is just to see if they could get guns from criminals. That's basically what he said. Because he heard there would be reprisals using AR rifles. And then you have Hines confused in the press conference as to what's really taking place. Then you have Rowley, who is the Prime Minister, missing in action, playing golf while Trinidad and Tobago burns, like Nero playing the fiddle while Rome burns. Sad state of affair. A really, really sad state of affair that country is in at the moment. People ask me, they say, why do you pay so much attention to Trinidad and Tobago? Why do you care? Well, I had a grandfather that came from Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, my grandfather came from Trinidad and Tobago. They told me he lived in a place called Cocoreet Terrace, or Cocoreet. Maybe those of you in Trinidad could tell me about that place. And when I was old enough to go to Trinidad to see him, he died. So yes, his name was Parma Cooke, and he was from Trinidad and Tobago. And that's why I have an interest in Trinidad and Tobago. I have friends who own guest houses in Trinidad. I have friends who drive taxis in Trinidad and Tobago and who work for honest living and who have to worry every day if they will go home or if they'll be shot. But Young doesn't care. He says 61 murders in December, which will, I guess, now the lawyer makes 62, and 625 or whatever number is counting, was not the reason for calling the state of emergency, but to just get the guns from the criminals who are going to do reprisals. Yeah, wow. So he went to church, and after delivering a sermon, he was gunned down in front of his family. After giving sermon, special prosecutor killed in front of wife and children. You know how that child is going to grow up? You know what nightmares that child is going to have? Hines, Stuart, and Rowley, do you know? Or do you care at all? That wife is going to be tormented. She was expecting to go into a new year with her husband and her children. So attorney Ramdel Hector, a lawyer who was a known gang leader, was shot and killed on Tuesday night in Port of Spain. he was prosecuting a known gang leader. I wonder who should really take blame and responsibility for this one. Three, Larry, Curly, and Mo should take responsibility. But you can leave your comments in the section below. There was an attempt on the gang leader's life police station on Saturday, and the fear of reprisal killing was supposedly a main factor why government decided to declare a state of emergency. So there was an attempt on a gang leader's life outside of Besson Street police station on Saturday. And the fear of reprisal killings was supposedly the main factor why the government declared a state of emergency, because there was an attempt on a gang leader's life. That was supposedly the reason why, because there would be reprisal and maybe the gang leader would be killed. What kind of country are we living into? And during the attempt on the gang leader's life, one of the cohorts was shot and killed. According to legal sources, Hector 43 worked in the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, then as lawyer in the Office of the Attorney General before going into private practice. He was eventually contracted by the state to prosecute the gang leader as a special prosecutor. Why? The government have lots of lawyers in the DP office. Why did they have to contract a private attorney? Oh, they're afraid of the gang leaders. Are they? I don't know. Hector had also done legal work for Strategic Services, an elite unit within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, was walking to his car when he was shot. Investigators said Hector was walking towards his car together with his wife and children around 7:30 p.m. after attending a church service, and he there delivering a sermon when two vehicles, a black SUV and a Nissan B15, pulled up alongside him and opened fire, beating off. He got 2 gunshot wounds to the chest. Members of the church took him to hospital. He died. Rowley, he died. Stuart Young, he died. Hines, he died. But do you guys care anything? What kind of state of emergency is Trinidad really into? I can tell you what state of emergency it's into. It's into a state of political emergency where you all need to exit the scene as quickly as possible. That's what it's into. Because if you really had a state of emergency to deal with criminals and to take them off the street and to be rid of them, there should have been a curfew while you go in search of those. Keep saying these are the gangs, these are the miscreants. We've already know just a few people into this nasty lifestyle, but then I guess you all know where they are. So why not go after them during a curfew? Take them out. But no, that's not the issue here. We're not interested in probably taking out gangs. We're interested in just getting the guns off the street. More because we don't even know why the guns are coming into Trinidad, where they're coming from. Nobody's telling us that. But this man died in front of his wife and his children. On the last day of the year, they were expecting to go into the new year with a father, with a husband, people with a brother, a mother, a son. But no, they're going to, because of your bad, failed policies enacted in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what it is. And I take a great interest because part of my neighbor's string is buried there. My grandfather, my father's father, was from there. So I have an interest there. I love the country. I've been there numerous times. I love it. But the people who are in charge of it are just a waste of time. Incompetent. And cares nothing about you all. Sometimes you ask yourself, are these people really running Trinidad and Tobago, or is there a cabal? And remember, I've given numerous videos about things that maybe you didn't even know about Trinidad and Tobago. It's really a sad day, and I was going to do this video since this morning, but I just couldn't find the strength to do it after seeing what happened. It's really, really disheartening to see what took place there last night.
Brethren, as we look forward to 2025, remember how good God has been to you. We have had a very bloody year in 2024 for Trinidad and Tobago. Right now, we are in a state of emergency. But regardless of what is happening out there, God has protected us. God has sustained us. And we are here to say, God, we are with you from now and forevermore.
Approximately 623 homicides for the year. However, the focus of homicides and this murder rate is not the main reason why the decision was taken to call this state of emergency.